Can you dedicate your life to the company? Overwork death is common here in Japan. This is a reality of working in Japan. If you are considering about moving to Japan and start working in Japan, you should know this fact. It's better to know in advance rather than regretting later. Okay everyone, in this video I'm gonna summarize general lifestyle of salaryman from morning to night. So let's get started. Morning routine at home, 6:30 a.m. Salaryman's life starts at pretty early, 6:30 a.m. Our day begins early, around 6:30 a.m. The typical salaryman in Tokyo wakes up early to prepare for the day ahead. Living in a small but functional apartment, he quickly makes his bed and heads to the bathroom. A quick shower, shave, and then he's dressed in his classic uniform, a business suit, white shirt, and tie. This formal dress code is standard across most Japanese offices, reflecting the importance of professionalism in Japanese work culture. So this is gonna be the basic Japanese salaryman outfit. You're gonna simply wear suit. The good part is you don't have to think about what you wear every morning. It's like Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg. Those successful people always talk about. They don't want to spend much time, energy for choosing clothes every morning. So even, you have to wake up pretty early, like 6:30 a.m., but you don't have to make a decision what you have to wear in the morning. So maybe that's a good part. Quick breakfast and leaving for work at 7:30 a.m. For breakfast, many salarymen keep it simple. Some might make a quick meal at home with rice, miso soup, and fish, while others opt for something quick from a convenience store. If you're a healthy person, maybe you're gonna make a small breakfast in the morning. But majority of people don't have much time. So like I said, many gonna opt for convenience store foods, quick meals like onigiri, rice bowl. Convenience stores in Japan known as konbini offer a wide variety of breakfast items, from onigiri, rice bowls to ready-made sandwiches and coffee. These stores are lifesavers for busy workers offering quality food on the go. Usually konbini is everywhere in Tokyo, like every station they have a convenience store. So even you don't have time, you can simply find a convenience store in the station everywhere, then you can get a breakfast. The commute, 7:30. So before commute, you have to eat your breakfast. Of course, you cannot have onigiri or cup noodles on the train. That's definitely not going to happen because, we're going to have rush hours. People are going to be pretty packed in a crowded train. Maybe some of my viewers already watched famous videos. So many people in the train. So, there's no space. Also, that's not going to be a good manner for eating on the train. So before commute, please eat onigiri or some quick meals. Now it's time for the commute. Tokyo's train system is incredibly efficient, but also incredibly crowded, especially during rush hour. Our salaryman joins thousands of other commuters as he navigates the packed trains. And during rush hour, there's a time for women's only train rooms. Most of the case, close to first rooms in the train, that's only for women's, like rush hour time only for women. So please don't ride in that room if you're a man, otherwise you're gonna be in trouble. So you might say, that's sexiest, why only for women's room exists? That's basically for protecting women. Sometimes we're gonna have, like touching or sneakily taking a picture under skirt in a rush hour. So because of those issues, there's some rooms for only women rooms in train. On the train, most people stay quiet, either reading, listening to music, or catching up on the news. Personal space is a luxury here, but everyone respects the need for calm and silence during the commute. Or maybe majority of people now, staring at smartphones, try to be quiet, calm is pretty important. Okay, finally arriving at the office, 8:30 a.m. Our salaryman arrives at the office around 8:30 a.m. Work typically begins at 9, but it's common for Japanese employees to arrive early. Being punctual or even early shows dedication and respect for the work. Yes, this is going to be a tricky part. Of course, Like I said, the work might gonna start at 9 a.m. That does not mean you can be there 1 minute early. Most of the time, people say 10 minutes early arrival. Not just about arriving at his office, even when you're gonna have some schedule, appointment, most of the time 10 minutes early arrival is important. You already might heard about this. Being punctual is pretty important here in Japan. If you're gonna be late, even at work, appointment, that's gonna be considered to be rude and not a good manner. So everyone please arrive at this office at least before 10 minutes. Japanese train system is pretty effective and smooth, but sometimes we're gonna have traffic accidents, sometimes delays gonna be happening. So even that the case, minimum 10 minutes early arrival is pretty important. After greeting his coworkers with a polite "Ohayo gozaimasu," which means good morning, he settles in at his desk. Japanese offices are usually open plan with desks arranged to encourage teamwork and collaboration. Morning work routine, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. The morning is filled with a mix of tasks, checking emails, attending meetings, and working on reports. Japanese work culture is very team-oriented, so there's a strong emphasis on group discussions, where everyone's input is valued. In most Western countries, work is about individual work performance. Of course, sometimes working as a team is important. But here in Japan, mostly work means working as a team. Having a good team relationship is pretty important. Meetings are a regular part of the morning, and they follow a structured protocol. Hierarchies are respected, with junior members often presenting updates while senior staff provide feedback. So most of the time, still here in Japan, we respect hierarchy system and even about age. So we have so many ways to speak politely in Japan, like a keigo, teinego, kenjogo. Yeah, so many ways to speak politely to the customer, to your boss. So basically, having respect towards your boss, to senior members are pretty important. Lunch break, 12 p.m. At noon, it's finally time for lunch. Many salarymen eat out at nearby restaurants where they can enjoy affordable and delicious lunch sets known as teishoku. Popular choices include rice, miso soup, fish, or ramen. Or even you can bring your bento box from home so you can save your money and I guess much more healthier than eating out. That's also an option. Alternatively, some choose to pick up a bento box from a convenience store. These boxed meals are convenient, balanced, and surprisingly affordable, making them a popular option for busy professionalism. So usually we're gonna have 1 hour lunch break. So even you can go nearby restaurant or you can eat at the office, eating your bento box you made in the morning. And after that, if you have time, you can even take a nap or you can do anything in this time. Afternoon work and team interactions, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. After lunch, it's back to work. Afternoons often involve more collaborative tasks like planning sessions and project reviews. Salarymen expected to be highly detail-oriented and organized, as even minor mistakes can reflect poorly on the team. So like I said, working as a team is pretty important. So if you make a mistake, that might gonna reflect the team's performance. Japanese companies emphasize teamwork, so individual tasks are often part of larger team efforts. It's common for coworkers to support each other and share responsibility, reinforcing a sense of group loyalty. There might be a case, it's gonna be annoying, but even you did a pretty good job for your team. Sometimes your team members try to get some appreciation from your boss. So of course everybody is different, so you like working alone or you don't like supporting your coworkers as a team because this is my job or this is my task. This is all I have to do. I don't care about my coworkers doing. In that mentality, maybe it's hard for you to adjust to Japanese working culture, especially to be an office worker. Overtime culture. So this is gonna be a pretty important topic. 6 p.m. and beyond. In Japan, it's common for salarymen to work overtime. Leaving exactly at 6 p.m. is sometimes seen as lacking commitment, so many stay late even if it's just to be present with their colleagues. This is often referred to as zangyo or overtime work. So this culture is pretty evil. I think this is a huge reason why so many foreigners hate working in Japan. So there are so many overtime, overwork in many countries, of course, but most of the case, you're gonna get paid. So even you're gonna do overwork 2 hours, 3 hours after your regular working hours, you're gonna get paid. But still, maybe it's getting changed, but some companies still not gonna make you get paid even 2 or 3 hours extra working hours. It's called service zangyo. So service. So this is a voluntarily working for the company from your will. Even that's not your will, yeah, it's considered to be service zangyo, doing overwork from your will. I'm totally against this part of working culture in Japan. And the more serious problem about overwork is karoshi, overwork death. So even you might have heard about this term, karoshi, like I said, overwork death. So you might think, yeah, maybe this is not common, right? Overwork death. Maybe that's so rare to happen. Well, this might be shocking. Overwork death is pretty prevalent here in Japan. The reason is most of Japanese people take responsibility or think too much and even cannot think about quit your own job. Of course, you're gonna think about social pressure, family pressure, like so many pressure exist. Still many Japanese people don't have a choice to quit your job. So basically brainwashed. Like you have to work a lot and you have to listen to the company's rule over and over. If you're gonna do it over years, basically you're gonna be the slave for the company. So you don't think by yourself. You don't think making a decision. So if overwork is mandatory, you think that's normal to do overwork every day. Eventually, mentally you're gonna be broken. Physically, mentally you're gonna be broken. You're gonna have reached to the mental state. I cannot do anymore. I cannot work anymore. Then, yeah, committing suicide or simply overwork death. This might be ridiculous for some of my viewers. Why don't you just quit your job? But once you're gonna start working for a long time, many years, we're gonna be brainwashed by the company, then easily this gonna happen. This part, overwork culture, I totally disagree with this culture. And of course, Japan offers so many good culture, respect, being humble, so many aspects I like. But about working culture in Japan, I'm personally against it. I understand, like, if companies gonna pay you the right wages, even when you're gonna do overwork, like some kind of rewards to you, then maybe you're gonna have some motivation to work harder, like you're gonna get more payment, your annual wages gonna get higher, then it's fine. But most of the time, you're gonna even work hard, but your paycheck is steady, same, just additional work, responsibility. I don't think that's called you are employee. You are a slave. Well, this culture is gradually changing with more emphasis on work-life balance over time remains common in many traditional Japanese companies. Yeah, like I said, now it's getting changed, especially among young people, young generations. They don't want to get promoted because usually their paycheck will not get astonishingly higher. Maybe a little bit of salary increased. Then you're gonna have so much responsibilities, tasks. Now, for younger generation, they prefer to choose a work-life balance over a career. So that's why now so many young people here in Japan, they wanna get a job in the government work. Most of the time government work, no overwork. They don't have to think about performance since this is a government work. So now it's getting changed. Okay, work is not still finished yet, everyone. Even 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Now is a work. Real work starts. I talk about work in Japan. Teamwork is pretty important. So having a nice teamwork, yeah, drinking party, Nomikai. After work socializing, Nomikai. So this gonna real work starts after 7, 8 p.m. So I'm gonna say after work. Yeah, you might say, yeah, this is not work, but here in Japan, this is a part of work. After a long day, our salaryman heads out with his coworkers for a nomikai or after work drinking party. These gatherings are common in Japan and serve as a way to bond with colleagues outside of the formal office setting. Of course, during pandemic time, this socializing nomikai was not happened because we had to have a social distance, wearing a mask. Even the restaurant has to be closed at night since during the pandemic time. But before, we had this part of work activity. Of course, at work, you want to be a professional businessman. Then going to doing a drinking party, you want to be more softened. Then you can talk about more roughly, having more close relationship with your coworkers. Yes, so this is a part of work. In Japanese culture, these gatherings help build stronger relationships, and they are often seen as an extension of work. It's a chance to relax, unwind, and connect in a way that's different from the formal office environment. But this also getting changed among young people because this work, even drinking parties, sometimes you cannot be so open in front of your coworkers or bosses, or simply you don't drink alcohol. You don't enjoy that activity. So now after work socializing is not getting popular among young people. Like I said, you have to spend your time with your coworker or bosses. There might be a case you don't like them. You just simply spend your time going back to home and watching Netflix, your favorite YouTuber, like this channel, spending time with your partner or family. So now things got changed, and also the annoying part is you have to pay for it. It's gonna be disaster though. You don't drink alcohol, but you have to join the drinking party. Then you have to split the bill. Like, I don't drink alcohol. It's not fair, right? You have to spend your time, money for this drinking party. Then you have to go home late. Then of course you're gonna have less your hobby time, quality time, less sleeping time. That's why you're gonna see so many Japanese salaryman sleep on the train in the morning. You're gonna see these scenes a lot. When you get in the train, so many workers wearing suits, sleeping. Yeah, in the worst case, sometimes laying on the floor, outside or even in the train. Finally you can heading home. Okay, I'm using a cane, but it's like, heading home. 10 p.m. After the nomikai, it's time to head home. Many salarymen take the last train home, often tired from a long day. It's common to see people dozing off on the train after a full schedule of work and socializing. Finally, you wake up at 6:30 a.m., then now you can head home at 10 p.m. Well, I'm not exaggerating because this is happening. So in the worst case, if you're gonna miss catching a last train, you have to spend your time in a internet cafe or hotel. Again, spending so much money. Finally, back home, he winds down for the night, preparing to do it all again the next day. For many, the life of a salaryman is demanding, but it's a role that reflects dedication, resistance, and pride in one's work. This gonna happen 5 days a week. Can you imagine it? Lack of sleep, lack of energy. I personally cannot do it. Even I remember my mom once said, my dad used to work until midnight, coming home, wake up around 5 a.m., going to work. So most of the time he spends at the office. So this gonna be a huge bad part about Japanese working culture because you don't have time spending your time with your family, partner, and even you don't have your free time. Many people already know Japan is facing low birth rate. This is a part of the reason. Some people think, we don't have much money. That's why we not want to make a family or babies, of course. Time. Simply, you don't have time. Even about this schedule. When you're gonna meet up new people, finding a partner, like when? Only on weekends? Yeah, weekends you're so tired, exhausted. Usually people sleep almost all day or people don't want to even have energy for going outside. They love indoor activities, watching Netflix, YouTube, playing video games. Because if you're gonna follow this schedule 5 days a week, you don't wanna go outside. So there's no time for meeting up your future partner and no energy. So yeah. Oh, yeah, actually, this is not just about Japan. Many advanced countries are facing low birth rate, even America, France, Japan, South Korea. Actually, South Korea has a lowest birth rate in the world, according to a statistic. So work-life balance is pretty important, not just about your physical and mental health, even about for the society, for making family, babies, everything. Especially now we have technology, AI kind of stuff. So even 5 days a work, 5 days a week, and overwork culture has to be changed. Yeah, basically for the company, they want like cheap laborers. They want to use cheap laborers. Just they think we are expendables, unfortunately. Of course, for the company side, for the CEO or top management teams, they want to have more profits, more payments. They want to keep making employees work as much as possible so they can make nice paycheck. Unfortunately, this is a reality. So Japan is not a dreamland. Some foreigners might think Japan is a nice country, respect, safe, even IQ is high. But about working, it's gonna be a different story. I always say this, visiting and traveling in Japan must be nice. You're gonna have the best customer service without tipping and safe. You can walk outside in the middle of the night, even you're a young girl wearing a bit skin exposed clothes. Most of the time, nothing's gonna happen. Even small kids commute by themselves, even kindergartens. If they go to private kindergarten school, it's gonna be shocking for you, but even 3, 4, 5 years old, they're gonna commute by themselves, catching a train, catching a bus, walking to the school by themselves. But nothing's gonna happen. Yeah, those parts, I really like Japan. But the working part, working culture in Japan, yeah, I don't think it's nice. I mean, that's the part I cannot be proud as a Japanese. So everyone, this is a reality of working as an office worker in Japan. So if you were thinking about moving to Japan and start working in Japan as an office worker, please keep this in your mind. Of course, not every company has this kind of schedule, but most of the companies. And everyone, like I talk about now, we don't have much time for finding your partner. Recently, I made a group about meeting up a future partner online on Meetup. So if you're curious about the group finding your partner, I'm specifically having a group that's about Japanese women and foreign men. So if you're looking for Japanese women, please join the group. I'm gonna share the link below the description page. So always we're gonna have a good side and bad sides, every countries. So here in Japan, working part, I can say a bad part. Okay, everyone, thank you for watching for a long video. And if you like this video, please don't forget to push like and subscribe to my channel. If you have any comments about this video, please leave any comments below. I'd love to see lots of comments and I reply most of the comments. Okay, everyone, we can meet again in the next video. Have a nice day.